Welcome to QUTV News Today. I'm Sam Huff. We are pleased to give you a special report this week. As the semester winds down, we thought it would be great to catch up with President Brian McGee. Our reporters went around campus asking students what they would like to ask McGee. So now I would like to welcome President McGee to the broadcast. President McGee, thank you very much for giving us your time today.
It's great to be here, Sam.
First thing I'd just like to ask, how has your week been going so far?
Every week is a great week to be a Hawk, Sam. You know that.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, but it has been a fabulous week. We've had beautiful weather. We've had a lot of success athletically in the last week. I keep hearing good things from students who say they're on top of their studies and are ready to go into this last portion of the semester, both before and after Thanksgiving. You know, I'm a happy guy. I've got one of the best jobs in the world.
Lots of exciting things, as you mentioned, in athletics. We'd like to give a quick shout out to women's volleyball as they prepare for their first time as the 1 seed in the GLVC tournament.
Well, they've had an historic season, and maybe the best is yet to come. I couldn't be more excited for them.
Yes, we wish them the best. So Dr. McGee, first off, just going to start some of our questions. First one we have is a freshman about a recent email that came out last week.
Sure.
Have a few more questions with that, but let's see what Jack Whalen said.
So I'm a freshman here. I've been here for 6 months, not even. And should I expect like tuition increase to keep going up every single year since I just got here? I mean, that's pretty alarming to me.
So we do know the recent email that came out was about the tuition increase. Many students are asking similar questions about the announcement. Do you happen to have any clarification?
Sure, happy to talk about that, Sam.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a great question. Does tuition go up every year at colleges and universities in the United States? And the answer is yes, it really does. And that's because every year inflation goes up, our costs go up, and it costs us more money to provide the same services to you and to your fellow students. Mm-hmm. Now, this particular year was extraordinary. We haven't seen anything like this since I was in elementary school in the 1970s, where prices have gone up this rapidly. But it's just like I said in the email, our energy costs have gone up 30% in a matter of months. We're just like any other family. We have to pay the electrical bill. The same is true for a whole lot of other costs that I listed in that email. And so we'll tell you, we're going to try and keep those increases as low as possible each and every year. But it's typical that you'd see prices go up at least slightly every year. That's just how higher education works. Mm-hmm. Though the one thing I will say is we did go through a time when we didn't increase tuition at all during COVID, and inflation has gone up so much in the last several months that we now have less purchasing power with the tuition paid today than we did when I got to QU in 2019. So the reality is, while it's always tough to see that tuition increase, it's there for a very good reason. And all we wanted to do is tell people early and be as transparent about it as we possibly could. There are some things that universities can do to sort of charge people without them paying attention, mm-hmm. or without them immediately noticing, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to be straight with people.
We are very appreciative of the warning. Mm-hmm. I know lots of people might not have agreed with it, but there was definitely no anyone getting shocked. So thank you very much for that. Also regarding the tuition increases, some students may have wondered, as you kind of just answered, it is for inflation purposes, but if there is any other wiggle room that the money could go to, let's hear from Jaden Pugh on what she had to say.
With the rising tuition prices, will any of the money be used to better our living situations and fix the problems we currently have going on?
Great question from Jaden. Of course, every year we make renovations to different portions of campus. So in recent years, we've done a whole lot in several of the residence halls. We've had a lot of work done in different portions of campus since I arrived here in 2019. This is a great institution, and we always want it to serve people well. So we will continue to do that. If we hadn't increased tuition mm-hmm. because of inflation, we would have had to spend all the money available on things like electrical bills, and we would not have been able to make improvements. So after a fashion, Jaden, the answer is yes. One of the reasons we had to increase tuition was to make sure we could keep investing in the wonderful facilities of this institution. And if there's a problem, tell us. We will do everything we possibly can to fix it.
Okay. And then just last thing about that, as they brought up possibly improving housing situations, is there a possibility that North Campus could get opened up again as a residence hall? I know back in its history, it used to be pretty frequent for a lot of students.
Right. Absolutely, and anyone who's met QU alum from a few decades ago has met someone who lived on the North Campus. For several years, North Campus has been used for a religious retreat center, consistent with our Catholic and Franciscan identity. And it's been a wonderful space that many people from around this region have used for religious education and for spiritual renewal. But yes, anything's possible in the future. We just had a record freshman class, the largest in 30 years. We have just early signs that we're going to have another tremendous recruiting class for fall of 23. And that does mean we're thinking differently about how we organize space. And yes, it's possible that in a few years we'll do that, just as next year will be the first time in many years that all of our freshman men will live in Padua Hall. So a big transition coming for Padua.
Yeah, big changes indeed for lots of students coming on campus. Switching off to another topic, we had a few students bring up some vacancies that were built up in their specific departments. So let's hear the two students who have questions about their academics.
Absolutely.
Why isn't sociology a minor? When are you going to hire more criminal justice professors?
So I know those are a little bit direct, a little quick at you, but just to kind of break them down, starting off with the criminal justice professors, there do seem to be a couple vacancies. Do you or the board plan on making any of those vacancies filled?
Absolutely, and we're advertising for a criminal justice professor right now. I mean, most people don't know this, and it's sort of a sad story, but we hired a great criminal justice professor with a lot of experience from the state of Missouri last spring. We're excited about him joining us this fall. And he had a severe health crisis, and he passed away over the summer. So we went from having a great new faculty member coming in to a very sad story for his family, and of course for all the students he would have taught here at QU. So we mourn his death and we wish his family the best, and we're just going to keep working to make sure we have great faculty, both full and part-time here, and we'll work to hire a faculty member there. So that's the candid story about criminal justice.
Yeah.
Now, sociology is used to be a major or a minor here at QU. We had a reduction in student interest several years ago, and we prioritized other programs that more students were choosing. But we always look at that we always look at the question of our academic offerings each year. We have different majors at QU now than when I arrived a few years ago. We'll have different majors in the future. The same is true for minors. So I'll ask the sociology question next time I'm with Dr. Reed, our Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Okay, and then just going off of the sociology part of it too, or parts in the catalog, because I can attest to it as well. I've been excited about a film minor, and it ended up not being there. Do we need to look into the catalog to possibly reclassify what is available so students possibly don't get false hope?
We certainly don't want anyone to be surprised by thinking there's going to be a program that isn't there. So I'd tell you up front, if you or any student feels like, hey, look, this isn't quite what I expected, please tell me directly, and we'll make sure that the courses are available, or we'll get it out of the catalog because it shouldn't belong there. But this is the first time I've had that question here, so let's go take a look.
No, yeah, of course, thank you. So another question, sort of related to the budget, more on our athletic side. Sure. Let's hear from Emily Hsu.
Why do certain teams on campus not get enough funding or attention that they deserve?
Once again, I think some students might be referring to the abundance of exposure that some sports possibly get, but we obviously know it's a tough job. How does a school even try and attack covering 26 sports equally?
Well, it's a great question, Sam, and let me tell Emily, my job is to make sure everyone gets the resources they deserve, including the media attention they deserve. You know, we have our local and regional media outlets. They tend to cover sports they think are more popular with their readers or watchers, and that's going to be sports like basketball and football, baseball, softball, sports that they think there's more of an audience for, even though we're passionate about all our sports at QU, and whether it's bowling or soccer, or it is volleyball, men's or women's, or is any of the other series of amazing sports we have at QU, I want people to be able to read about them, not just in the press releases that we put out, but in local and regional media. Of course, our regional media outlets only have so much time and space, and we have to persuade them to cover sports. I've directly asked local reporters to cover specific sports before that I thought weren't getting as much attention as they deserved. I've always had a great response when I asked for that directly. But I think we just have to keep paying attention. We have to keep reminding our local media outlets about the fantastic resources we have here. And we also, each and every year, to go to the other portion of Emily's question, are asking, how do we make our facilities better meet the needs of our students? We know that sometimes equipment needs change. We know sometimes that the resources students need will change over time as we learn new things about those sports or as we bring new sports online. Mm-hmm. So it's a question that I work on every year with Josh Raby, our athletic director.
So again, how is that conversation with Josh Raby specifically about, we have 3 or 4 new sports, I believe. Mm-hmm. How is battling that space, whether it's practice time for people or space for facilities just in general?
Well, it's a great question because we've added some sports at QU, and I'm incredibly proud of the newest sports we've added in men's and women's swimming. That's been easy because our pool has not been well utilized by our students over time. So that one wasn't so hard, other than we still have to make weight room time available. We also have men's and women's wrestling, which we added late last year after some other schools in the area stopped their wrestling programs, and we believed that we needed to fill that gap. Mm-hmm. And then finally, of course, we added sprint football. Each of them had different needs. One of the things that some people have noticed, but others have not, is that we had a huge expansion of our weight room facilities, which was important to meet the needs of an increased number of student athletes. In addition to that, we rented some space for wrestling practice time because we knew we needed more space to give them the mat time they needed to succeed. And beyond that, we also looked very carefully at how we scheduled wait time, time with athletic trainers, practice times. I think in the long term at QU, we will look at continuing to expand our outdoor practice fields. Mm-hmm. But that is something that takes time, especially if you want to look at a 12-month solution with turf as opposed to a grass solution where you have limited access in the late fall, winter, and early spring. So I hope I've given you the sense that Mr. Raby and I have talked about this at some length. And we continue to do it as well as we think about facilities we'd like to improve for student athletes in several different sports.
No, of course.
The wish list is in my head, Sam, for all of our sports. And as good as I think our facilities are, I'm always looking for ways to make them better, both academically and athletically.
Well, I'm sure the student body loves to hear that. And we know that there are a lot of plans going on between you and Mr. Raby, so thank you. So now, switching a gear, getting into more about yourself. You are quite the famous symbol for lots of students here at QU. So many wanted to know a little bit about your life on campus. So let's hear from Herman Chongwain.
What question would you ask Dr. McGee?
Why do you choose to live off campus when you have a house on campus?
Oh goodness, Herman, I'm not sure where that comes from, but I absolutely have a house on campus and I live there the great majority of the time. When I sold my house in South Carolina years ago, I came to QU and people told me it's a smart thing for presidents to also make sure that they have a place to go when they need vacation, just like all of our folks here. So I did buy a house in Missouri because I love our Missouri students just as much as I love our Illinois students. But I'm here the great majority of the time, Herman. You can go by my house all the time and see the lights on. And I left that house last night exactly at 10 p.m. for my evening run. And so I know a lot of people saw me out and about last night as they do a lot of other nights. So hope that answered the question, Herman. If you want to come by and knock and say hello, feel free.
No, yes, definitely a great answer. Of course, you need time away. Mm-hmm. Another question to come to that, does it have to do with any of the squirrels around on campus? I hear that you and the squirrels do not technically get along.
You know, there are people who love squirrels and have a romantic relationship with squirrels. I am not one of those people. They are rats with tails. I think people give them way too much credit. They are nasty little creatures with sharp teeth and dangerous claws, and I'm not going to give them an inch. I have a grudge against the squirrels. So I always promise you, we will spend not a dime of your hard-earned tuition money taking care of squirrels. They got to take care of themselves.
Well, that's fair enough. I myself also, first year I ever came here, I was very petrified about how big the squirrels were around the cafeteria. So glad to know that we have something in common.
Well, we do, Sam. I think a dislike of squirrels should be a uniform thing, but there are some people who think they belong on campuses, and
I agree.
I won't kick them off, but I'm wary. I don't trust them.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm. Some other students wondered about your favorite phrase around campus. I'm sure you've probably said it over 1,000 times since at least I've been here. We both came here as I was a freshman. So here's that question from Tony Lundy.
What does the quote, "It's a great day to be a Hawk," mean to you?
It means that every day we have opportunities here to grow together, to be in relationship with one another, to enjoy one another's company, to learn from one another. This is a campus where your bad day is still a very good day. And the fact that we are with one another and learning from one another and enjoying one another, it just makes it every day here for me a great day. This phrase, "it's a great day to be a Hawk," has been with us for generations. People who attended here decades ago know it just as well as you do. It is part of your legacy as QU students that you have that positive outlook on life and you learn to enjoy and learn from one another.
It is. I think that's also a great positive point that many students should always know that they are here while they're on campus. Last but not least, to wrap it up, we often see some nice color pops in your wardrobe. One of the very popular points are your bow ties. So here is a question from Tyler Menendez.
Ready. What question would you ask Dr. McGee?
My question for Dr. McGee would be how many bow ties he has in his closet, because I see him with a different one every day, and it's got to be a lot. I want to know how many.
Great question. I know I have at least 35, probably 40, if you count a couple of Christmas ties. So yeah, I've got some long ties too, so I'll wear those on occasion. The largest number of ties I have is brown, because it's QU after all.
Greatest color ever.
I did not own a single brown tie when I came to QU. I now own close to 30 of them, and I've scoured the world looking for brown ties. So I'm very proud to wear the colors so frequently, but I like a pop of color as well. So you've got a great pink tie on today, Sam, and I've got a few of those in the closet as well, with a lot of others. So
thank you very much. I'm honored.
Well, I'm glad to know somebody appreciates the ties.
Yes.
And Sam, just one other thing. Anybody who wants a tie tying lesson, either bow ties or a long tie, just schedule it up. I'm happy to give bow tie tying lessons anytime.
Well, that is wonderful to know. If anyone needs a great bow tying lesson, President McGee is the one to show you. So again, thank you very much for your time here today. Last thing I'd say, is there anything else you're excited about at the end of this semester or at the beginning of next semester that I haven't touched on?
You know, I appreciate that opportunity. I love the seasons of the year. I'm looking forward to finishing off fall, getting to winter. I love the snowfall, and I love seeing people out and about in it. But, you know, the year is just going so wonderfully, I think, for QU. So many great experiences for students this year, and I'm looking forward to everyone finishing on a strong academic note, doing well in their classes, coming back for J-term and the spring semester. The one thing I'd remind people of is that as they register, don't forget J-term tuition is absolutely free. If you are a full-time student in the fall, you get your J-term class at no additional cost. It is a great way to make sure you stay even or get ahead so you can graduate on time. So it's always a good time for me to remind people, take advantage of that J-term as well as registering for spring. But I'm looking forward to each year at QU being better than the last one, and I certainly think this year is meeting that standard.
Well, that's a wonderful tip, and thank you very much for the best wishes for the rest of the school, and thank you again for your time today.
Sam, thank you, and God bless everyone at QU. It's a great day to be a Hawk.
It's always a great day to be a Hawk.
Amen.
Thank you for watching QUTV News today. Check us out on social media on Facebook and Twitter, and for more content, go to QUmedia.net. Have a great day.